Hey guys, welcome to the Mighty PHI Games and History and Reviews. And today, today this is the comic book review. If you don't know what this is, these are comic books that I've read recently, or my mom has read recently. And I say my mom because she's the one that buys me all my comic books. So just to be nice, I just have her read them too, because I'm probably only gonna read these like once or twice in my whole lifetime. So, so this week we actually have a lot of ones to read and go through, so that's kind of good. But so basically, what I do I said these comic books have recently been read, so I just show them, kind of go through them, and just kind of see my thoughts on them, kind of thing. I also give them a 1 to 5 star rating, 1 being the worst, 5 being the best, and 3 is like that. 3 to me is like the happy medium. So don't get mad if a comic book that you really like gets a 3. To me, that means it was okay. So I always like starting off these videos with going to the top most popular comic books according to Go Collect. Just in general. Then we also do the Bronze Age, the Silver Age, and the Golden Age. Bronze Age was basically everything from like early 70s, I want to say, to like the early 90s. Silver Age is anything from I think 1971 to 1953, and anything from 1952 and older is the Golden Age. So this is just the top, I guess, as they put on Go Collect, the hottest comics. This one is Ultimate Fallout #4, and also for the top 10 most popular, we have a number on the side of the screen. For the rest, we just don't, because it just takes too long and it's just messes with my brain after a while. So this is the first appearance of Miles Morales, who is like the black and red Spider-Man. He's recently kind of become popular. Next, you have Marvel Superheroes, Secret Wars #8. It's the first appearance of the Spider-Man symbiote costume. That black costume is wearing right now. Next, got Spider-Man #361. This is the first appearance of Carnage. At #4, we have Spider-Man #300. It's the first full appearance of Venom. It was the first issue inked by a comic book master, Todd McFarlane, and Spider-Man's 25th anniversary issue. Next, you have Spawn #1. If I remember correctly, was created by Todd McFarlane. That's Spawn #1, created by Todd McFarlane. It was the first appearance of Spawn. So, next you have New Mutants #98, first appearance of Deadpool. And in my whole life, I've only seen 2 copies of these. In fact, one of them I actually saw today at my local comic book store. But I'm not a big Deadpool fan, so I don't really have any interest in it whatsoever. And the other one was actually in the collection of one of my friends' collections. At #7, we have She-Hulk #1, the origin of She-Hulk, first appearance. At #8 is Wolverine #1, first solo comic book series. At #9, we have the first appearance of the Eternals in the Eternals #1. And at our #10 for this week, we have Thor #337, the first appearance of Beta Ray Bill. Next, in our Bronze Age and stuff, so I said the Bronze Age is everything from like 1972 to like early 90s, so all of the 80s and stuff. So at #1, we have the Secret Wars #8. 2 is Eternals #2. The next we have Amazing Spider-Man #252, first black suit in the regular series. Next, I do have this one. This is in my collection. We have Star Wars #1. This is the first issue in the comic book series. At #4. I don't have this one. We have Wolverine #1. Next, you have Spider-Woman #1. First new complete origin, and the mask is added. Next, you have She-Hulk. Then we have Avengers #10. Annual #10. First appearance of Rogue. And then at #9, the first appearance of the Wolverine in Hulk 181. My friend that I mentioned earlier has this one in his collection. Then at #10, you have the giant size X-Men #1. first appearance of Colossus, Storm, Nightcrawler, Thunderbird, and also the new X-Men, second appearance of Wolverine, and first appearance of Wolverine in the X-Men team. So next we have our Silver Age. So the Silver Age is, well, it's probably one of the greatest ages, well, it's probably the best age in all comic books, because most of the movies that we go to now and things are mostly based off of comic books that came out, well, basically all the movie or superhero movies that we watch, and also TV superhero shows that we all watch are mostly based off of comic books in this general time between 1953 to 1970 to the early 70s. So first we have Fantastic Four number 48, first appearance of the Silver Surfer and Galactus. Next we have Fantastic Four number 52, first appearance of the Black Panther. Iron Man number 1. This is the first issue of Iron Man, and continue from the Iron Man and Namor, and the Submariner one-shot, and the origin, as we also be told. And speaking, mentioning Submariner, we have Submariner number 1. This is the second subtitled comic in the first essay comic book series. In the first essay, Namor origin story. Next, we have Daredevil number 1, first appearance of Daredevil, get the origin, first appearance of Karen Page and Foggy Nelson. Next, you have Fantastic Four number 9, number 49. Next, you have the Silver Surfer, as the first issue in the self-titled series, and you also get his origin story. And at number 8, X-Men number 1, first appearance of Cyclops, Beast, first Angel, Marvel Girl, Iceman, Magneto, and Professor X, in first X-Men comic. Next, you have at number 9, Spider-Man number 50, first appearance of the Kingpin. And then Amazing Spider-Man number 41, first appearance of the Rhino. Now you have our Golden Age. So our Golden Age is basically everything from 1952 and older. These comic books are generally bigger than the newer ones. Well, the new ones are really small compared to Golden Age. And as you keep getting older and older, the comics just keep getting bigger and bigger, kind of thing. And so the Bronze and Silver Age, to mark these kind of periods, because let's say everything from 1953, the Silver Age, all the comic books are the same size roughly, and so then when they changed the size, that's when the next age started. So this would have been the Golden Age. So this is the biggest size of comics that you get, and they are huge. In the history of this channel, we've only had one Golden Age comic book shown. Maybe two, but one for sure. Well, yeah, one. Yeah, we only had one Silver Age comic book that was recently showed, and either last episode or the episode before. It's Blackhawk number 42, which has a pretty cool cover, and just learning some new stuff out today. So at number 1 we have Mad number 1. Is the first issue in the self-titled series. And yeah, next we have Mad number 3. They have All-Star Comics number 6. This was the first Justice League, but instead it was the Justice Society of America. And so in the comic books, they generally have this like nowadays in the comic books, they kind of have this you have the Justice League of America, you have Justice League. So let's say if you get a comic book that takes place in 2020, you have the Justice League. But if they talk about the Justice League Society, they kind of have that set back in the 40s. So you have 40s superheroes kind of stuff in it, things like that. And so yeah, so that's kind of how they do that. So yeah. Next, Batman number 24. Batman number 38. Next, you have Batman number 44. You have the Batman number 47, which is actually the first detailed origin of Batman. And Batman tracks down his parents' killer and reveals the identity of the killer of the parents. And the first bat signal is used in the cover of this issue. Cool. So next I have Batman number 66. I think it's actually a really cool cover, by the way. Next you have Suspense Stories number 11. And then at number 10 you have Tales from the Crypt. You get the number 33, you get the origin of the Crypt Keeper. And those are the hottest comics according to Go Collect. Comic book for today, you have Thor, Marvel Tales featuring Thor. So this is, well, basically it's like a big comic book filled just of like 4 reprint comics. And one even included the Thor that we just talked about with the Beta Ray Bill. We talked about that. That's also featured in here. So this is an okay comic. I didn't mind it. I don't mind Thor, but he's not my favorite Marvel character. Like, he's okay. I don't mind him. And so, yeah. So, I will give this probably a 3-star review. So next is ScoobyDoo, Where Are You? So this is actually my my longest running comic book series I've collected. The rest have either just stopped, or, well, most of them just stopped, really. So this is actually, like I've been collecting this since almost day 1 of collecting, almost 4 or 5 years ago now. So since day 1 of collecting my comic books, I've always gotten into ScoobyDoo, Where Are You? Which is nuts. So, yeah. So, this one's a good one. So, this is about, like a skate park kind of thing. And for me, with Scooby, reading these, I'm always looking, I always look at the suspects. And I always guess who it is before they unveil it. I was right this time, so I was happy. Most of the time, I'm not right, so, and, yeah. So yeah, I always like guessing who it is. So, yeah. That's how sad I am. Okay, I'm joking. Okay. So, yeah, so it's a good story. I liked it. It was kind of, also, it was kind of clever, too. I liked it. I'll give this one a 3. Okay. So, this is a reprint. I'm just going to clear that right away. So, you can tell it's a reprint because it has this $3.99 comic books at the time were not $3.99. So this is a reprint of Batman number 232. This is probably one of the most famous Batman comic books because, if I remember correctly, this is the first appearance of Ra's al Ghul. And, it's like one of the first appearances of him in the comic books. So this came out around 1971, and if I remember correctly, this was drawn by Neil Adams, who is really good. I only have 2 original, maybe 3 original Neil Adams ones that will be coming up in the future at some point. I don't know when, but I think I'll get around to them at some point. But yeah, but those are really, so Neil Adams comics are really good. Personally, I say get his Green Lantern ones, and I want to say that issues 76 to 84, 85. I think that's the Neil Adams Green Lantern, and they're really good. So yeah, and you can still get them relatively cheap. Not like a mint condition one, but if they're in bad shape, you can get them relatively cheap. I got both of the Green Lantern ones I have under $20. So yeah. So I give this one. I don't really remember it too much, but I do remember that I liked it a lot. So I give this one a 4. So next is not a reprint. This is Batman number 284. This one was So this one was okay. So this one just right off the bat, I give like a 2 or 3. Uh, well, basically most of the comic book was Batman arguing with the commissioner, but it wasn't Commissioner Gordon. So Commissioner Gordon is on vacation, so it was kind of like the guy who is like I kind of want to say replace, or well, basically it's kind of like the guy who's in charge for now until he gets back. And so he's like, I had to play, you to do anything by my rules and stuff like that. And so that's kind of what it was most of the time. But I know there's actually like a couple part series. I know there's like a part 2, which I do have that one. I think that one was reviewed in the past. I think that one was reviewed with the one when he had Commandy #1. So I think that's when he had Giant Man #50. Well, the first appearance of Giant Man. I think that's when he had that one. Yeah, first appearance of Giant Man. That video has the one before it. But, so this one is an okay comic book, didn't mind it. So, yeah. So next I got Batman #331. So, if you notice that this comic book is kind of different from the other ones. Well, basically the bad guys, and it's called Mylar. And Mylar is kind of what museums use to preserve a lot of like paper documents and like paper really, and so they started making like comic books. And so it's different from this to this regular old cover over here. So this makes a lot of noise. Yeah, that makes noise too, but that's supposed to be a joke that failed tremendously. But this one is made with acid, and this one isn't. So this one's acid free, but over time, like it takes years and years and like maybe like long enough, yeah, like a super duper long time. This bag will start eating away a comic book. So these bags are good for newer comic books, but when it comes to these older comic books, you kind of want to put them in Mylar, because then I think they just look better too. But yeah. So this one, if I remember correctly, this was an okay comic book, so I'll give this a 3. It's been like a long time since I read this one, so probably should reread it. So, yeah. Okay, next this comic book series isn't that, well, it's not widely known as it used to be, so it's called Blackhawk. And so Blackhawk, I think, is featured in almost every episode of the comic book review. I said almost. So my friend got me hooked on this. And he's the guy who owns the collection I mentioned during the last comics. And I said, oh, he has that one and that one. And so this was his favorite. And so he gave me a couple and kind of got me hooked on it. So now Blackhawk's one of my favorite. So basically, it's a superhero. Well, it's not really a superhero team, but they're a group of people who kind of go around and help people. But most of the time, it's them trying to, well, they fight like monsters. Like here, they fight the Valley of the Angry Giants, or they fight aliens from space, or some mad scientists who create like this new like invention kind of thing, or like a bad guy who's human that has some like odd like death ray kind of thing, or like basically they kind of fight like science-y kind of people, but back in the 60s and 50s this was a really, really popular series. Now not so much. I go to the same comic book store all the time, but sometimes, so there's this one I like going to, but it's like 40 minutes, it's almost an hour down the road kind of thing, and it's in the city of Lincoln, Nebraska, and they have a box filled with Blackhawk, and because no one buys him, he always gives me, he's like, okay, just give me like, so if I got like 5 copies of Blackhawk, you'd be like, okay, that's $5, just $1 each, because a lot of comic book stores want to get rid of Blackhawk, because no one really buys Blackhawk anymore, which is kind of sad. But personally, I think Blackhawk's going to start going up, because DC announced that they're going to make a Blackhawk movie with Steven Spielberg's help. And Steven Spielberg, fun fact, is also a Blackhawk fan. So, and he tried to make a Blackhawk movie back in the 80s, but it didn't really work out. So he's super excited. And last I checked, they're trying to decide if it's going to be part of the the DC cinematic universe, or if it's going to be its own standalone movie kind of thing. But no one really knows for sure yet about if it's going to tie in like they're trying to say if this is going to tie in with Batman v Superman, or Wonder Woman, Man of Steel, those movies. So this one is a good comic book. So basically, the Blackhawks are called in to save this person who's stuck in this valley. But when they get there, they find out this valley is filled with giants. And yeah. And then the jailer's revenge is basically just a revenge scheme of some past bad guy, really. So this was a pretty good comic book. I liked it. So I give it a 5. So next got some Marvel team up going. A Marvel team up number 26. Featuring the Human Torch and Thor. So this one was a good one if I remember, and I didn't mind it. So I'll give this one a 3. Okay, don't worry, we only have 3 more left. So next we have Superman number 209. This is from 1968. So I do that. I put that on the back because it just kind of helps with the. Because on the comic book store I go to, they always put this stuff on the outside, down here in this corner. But I decided to move it to the back here so it stays in here forever, never and ever. So this was a good one. So basically, what happens? Superman is hit by this ray kind of thing, and his secret identity, Clark Kent and Superman, kind of become two. And so Clark Kent wants to have nothing to do with Superman, wants to live his life, unlike Superman, who wants to go and merge them back as one. And I'll go see what happens. But, so I like this one a lot, and I'll give this a 5-star review. So next we have Detective Comics number 378. This is probably one of my favorite comic book covers of all time. I think it's super cool. And I know this is in the way, but this says Batman Robin split. And I think this is super cool, but sadly this cover, it doesn't look like it from the Mylar, and just because it has so much color in it. The cover is actually in really bad shape. I think it has some kind of water damage or something like that. I'm not quite sure. But, well, actually, it says there's chipping on the cover, stains and small tears on covers. So this came out in 1968, and so this is actually one of my favorite ones. It's basically Robin and Batman getting a fight kind of thing, and then Robin's like, "Hey, I'm going to go on my own" kind of thing. Batman's like, "Okay, this will be a learning experience for you" kind of thing. So Robin leaves, only to become roommates with this guy who's having the exact same problem with his dad. But his dad is a crime boss. And so he's like, I came up with this perfect idea. I'm going to have you, Dick Grayson, be dressed up as Robin and act like Robin is going to die, so I can call Batman as a kind of ransom, so I can kill the Batman. Then his dad has the exact same idea. So now Batman. So which one is Batman going to go to? You have to buy a comic book to find out. So this one was pretty reasonable. I tell you that for $12. So pretty reasonable. Yes, this is our last next is our last comic book. So next we have Batman number 149. Yes, 149. So yeah, this is an oldie. This came out in 1962. And So this is actually missing a page, but it doesn't affect the story. I think it's like like what is like ads or commercials, something like that. But what happens is Batman and Robin. Well, there's actually a lot of stories in here, but the main one right here, Batman and Robin are fighting these crimes, but there's like these robbers, but all the robbers are people from the past, like a whole bunch of Roman soldiers robbed a jewelry store. But then all of a sudden, while Batman and Robin are running down the street to go chase some criminals, these Viking people I see on the cover pull them into the past. Well, pull them into a portal. So what happens, Batman and Robin? You need to figure it out. But you can tell this has a subscription crease. So yeah. Well, in the comic book world, we call it a crease that goes from all the way up here, all the way down. I don't know why I have a nail clip in my hand. I always like messing with something as I film. It just keeps me focused. So I was messing with this nail clipper kind of thing. But it's called a subscription crease. So what it starts from the top from the bottom. And if you have, just as a comic book collector, never subscribe to any comic book. You go to the comic book store and pick it up yourself. Don't have the comic book come in the mail, because the mailmen always go get the comic book and then fold it like a taco kind of thing. When they put it in, and so they bend the comic book, and that's where you get that subscription crease from. Like I used to get ScoobyDoo in the mail, and literally I have over 50 issues of them creased in the middle, and plus they're in bad shape. Like I got one from the mail and had water damage on it. I don't know how, but it had water damage, and there was a little tear right up here, and all the pages were teared like in the exact same place, and it's just like it's just a death sentence for a comic. Like it's not like ooh. But I know you have the comic books on time on Wednesdays. You don't have to go to the comic book store. You don't have to drive anywhere. But if you're a big avid comic book collector, it's just right away. It goes to it's just right when you get it. It's not at like a 10 grade. It's already losing value when you get it, and like when you even order it, you just. It's already losing value. So don't subscribe to DC. Go to the comic book store and buy it. Yeah. So if you like this video, please leave a like and subscribe. If you're new guy, this is kind of part of the video, and I kind of not any news kind of coming out. And I don't really have any major news coming out. So yeah, nothing really major. Man, I just had a massive brain freeze. Oh yeah. So if you have any comments, complaints, answers, answers to the questions being asked, good job, great video, put it down in the comments below. Sorry, I knocked the camera over. I respond to every comment. So yeah. But I want to know, what's your favorite comic out of these I reviewed today, or stuff. And if you also have any cool facts about the comic books, kind of thing, put it down in the comments below. I always knowing new facts. I just retain facts for a living. It feels like it's the only thing my brain does best, just retain random facts. I just came 18th out of 151 in a trivia contest. So yeah, I like facts a lot. So yeah, if you have any cool facts about these comic books or anything, put it down in the comments below. I read every one of them, respond to every one of them, and yeah. So please leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.